Hey everyone, my name's Kyle Gordon. I'm the Executive Vice President of Sales, Marketing, and Commercial Excellence here at AMAG, and starting to have some conversation with some of my teammates about our solutions that we offer and some of the things that that I find to be really interesting. And so on a regular basis, I'm going to get together and talk with people who are smarter than me about things that we do. So today, I'm lucky enough to be joined with Jeff and Scott. So Jeff LeBlanc from our professional services team, as well as Scott Preshern from our professional services team. So real quick, guys, because it is a quick chat. We'll start with Jeff. Just introduce yourself and your role real quick.
Jeff LeBlanc, Vice President of Client Services. Thanks.
And Scott.
And I'm Scott Preshern. I'm the lead for the professional services team.
Awesome. Okay. So talking today about health checks, which I frankly love. Having come from the integration side of the business for as long as I was, always trying to find ways to help our end users understand, complexities of their systems, different things that we could do to maybe help them optimize their environment. And you guys the other day brought me through the idea of the health check. And you hear that a lot in our industry. It can be a little cliche or buzzwordy, but when I dug into what we do, I kind of had to do a hold on. This is pretty cool. So, Jeff, real quick, at a high level, what's our health check?
So, just to add to you a little context to it, I came from the end user side of the business, and I think often if you're having performance issues, it's extremely difficult to articulate what that is, right? Some people will articulate it as my system's down. Others will say my system's slow, right? But it really could be isolated to a very specific part of the application. And so part of the client services group deals with end users and integrators all day long. And we really felt like one of the missing pieces was a tool that would clearly articulate how Symmetry, our application, was running within a customer's server infrastructure and network, and how that ecosystem works together. And then to be able to provide a user-friendly report that would tell you exactly where your concerns are, and sometimes more importantly, where you don't need to be concerned as well. And that was really the driving force behind this.
All right, love that. So at a high level, that makes sense. Scott, in a more tactical sense, what are we doing?
So we're gathering the data and really turning it into those specific calls to action. It literally does a red, yellow, green rating on each of those specific areas that we're looking at. And so we have a whole bunch of components that we run through, but the overall is that we run a solid 7 days of performance counters on the system of various pieces. Some of that's Symmetry specific, some of that's operating system, some of that's SQL Server. And then we come back at the end of that to gather those 7 days of data, and we run another set of one-time recordings, some scripts that we have in there. All of this being open scripts. We're not installing anything on the system. We're making sure that this is something that the customer can actually see themselves if they have any concerns of what's this exactly going to do. But then we analyze it. We go away for a bit. We analyze that. We come out with this report that has those specific recommendations of here's the places that look good. Here's the places that need some analysis. And the fun of it is seeing the commonalities amongst a whole lot of our customers. But then there's some very specific things that go on. Some will have cardholder issues. They haven't maintained those cardholders very well, that they can't see that big picture. Some of them will be fine on the card holders, but instead it's going to be something about the actual hardware that they're dealing with, what have you. And digging that out and giving them something specific to work from is what's actually really pretty great about the health check.
Yeah, one of the things that jumped out to me, and I think one of the areas in general, especially with large enterprise deployments that need health checks, is really sort of that interface between an end user's network and the system that they're using, and then also how that how that is interacting with our Symmetry system. And a lot of times in some of the reports that you guys shared with me, oftentimes we're sharing with them where there may be some network challenges, stuff that we're really not dealing with at all. But we're saying, hey, you may want to take a look at this. This is coming up as a red or a yellow from a risk perspective. Right? This is just a very high level conversation around our health check.
Just to touch on one more point though, Kyle, I mean, I think, I call the Mount Rushmore of problems typically revolve around CPU, memory, and disk, right? And those are in our installation manuals, right? But systems grow, systems change, usage change throughout. And that's why getting these health checks is so important, because it will tell you exactly, yet you are, you're at 16 gig of RAM and you need to be at 32, and it will be specific in that recommendation. And it will even point you back to the installation manual telling you, based on what your system looks like to us in the health check, here is your optimal standard.
Love it. If you want to know more about, our health checks, obviously reach out to your AMAG teammates, but I just want to add some time sharing this. I think it's an incredibly useful tool that I'm happy to see that we provide, and that hopefully our end users can take advantage of, as well as our integration. So thanks for the time today, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's it.